We're here with Pippa Chapman today, and we're here at Esholt Hall Gardens, or
Yes,
Esholt Gardens?
Esholt
Hall Gardens. How do you feel about the process? I think, are we a year on? How long is
18
it?
months.
18 months.
18 months on, and yeah, I think we really enjoyed the whole process of creating the garden, and sort of sourcing materials from on site, and trying to use what we've got here, digging up seedlings from around and about, and sort of bringing it all together to create the gardens here. I just feel like it's all come together. You'd never guess looking at it now. It's only been here 18 months, and actually most of it even less than that, because the plants, we didn't have any plants go in until about 12 months ago. So yeah, really pleased with how it's gone. What we've grown, what we've learned, we've worked really well as a team, so it's just been so much fun. We've learned so much from each other. Yeah, it's been fantastic.
It seems like the dream team and everything's really flourishing. What would you say are, if you did have favourite bits or bits you'd like to highlight for other people, what would you say?
I think I've really enjoyed the apothecary garden, because personally I'm trying to learn more and more about the healing properties of plants. So even though I've grown certain things for many years, I didn't know what any of the healing properties were. So that's been a really interesting learning experience for me. And also designing the forest garden has just been so much fun, because I've just come up with all sorts of ideas, and then we've just, made it happen. And so yeah, that's been really fun.
And what do you want to tell us a bit about the ways you've used materials in the space? Yeah,
so we've done quite a bit of weaving with willow to get the curved edges in the herb garden, and then also because we've been renovating the coppice, there's been like long branches that we were cutting down just in order to regenerate the coppice for future. So we were trying to think what to use it for, and so we actually just decided to use it as straight sections for the bed edges here. And it's all things that we've grown on site, and then what's really nice is that as they rot down and deteriorate, we can just go and use them in a dead hedge or to create a log pile, and put some fresh edges down. So it's really all about using natural materials and thinking about what we do with things when we're finished with them, and can we then incorporate them back into the garden. Yeah, and there's the keyhole beds as well for allowing you to get in and actually work on the garden and be able to harvest things as well. It's a bit overgrown here. Everything's gone a bit crazy.
It looks very happy. And
yes.
What have you done with the soil and the materials for the...
We used a mulch from Plate to Plate. So we got some compost in and used that as a mulch, and then we've been making comfrey feed as well, and nettle feed, and feeding them.
And mulching the pods with wood chip.
Yes, mulching, and all of the wood chip, all the wood chip that's on the paths and the wood chip that's in the forest garden is all what was chipped on site. So we were really lucky that we had an abundance of wood chip, which is how we managed to mulch all of the forest garden out. So we actually started by just laying down all the mulch and leaving it for 6 months, and then coming back and planting into the mulch. So we didn't put anything down beforehand, just lay the wood chip straight on the grass, and because we'd got a really good thick layer, it just killed off all the grass without us having to do anything else.
Brilliant. It sounds like a really effective way of working.
It was a lot of work wheelbarrowing wood chip, because of course it was right at the other end of the car park, and it was in the really, really hot weather of last summer, the heat wave that we had, and we were wheelbarrowing loads of wood chip backwards and forwards. So yeah, it was hard work. So it's really nice now that it's all planted, that we're just coming in and actually doing a bit of light maintenance.
So the work up front, but now it's...
now it's going to more or less look after itself. So we've still had a few weeds and things coming through, things like some thistles that we've taken out. I mean, we leave thistles in other areas because they're so great for pollinators, but in this area we've been taking out the thistles. But now that we've got rid of anything that wasn't quite killed off in the mulch, it should be really very low maintenance. We've got a lot of ground covers that will eventually get rid of any bare soil.
And it's a permaculture design. Do you want to say any more about about that?
Yeah, so we were thinking, as I said, very much like the earth care side of things was all about creating spaces for wildlife to be in the garden as well as us. So even though it's a food forest, we didn't want to just think about what we could get from that. We wanted to think about all the other creatures as well, which fits in quite nicely with the fair shares as well. So we're not just taking it all for ourselves. And it's been a really nice sort of people care thing as well, because it's been very much about teaching. So it's a teaching space. We're going to be doing mindfulness things within the garden, but also us as a team, we've worked really well together. So it's not been any one person saying this is what we're going to do, this is, you know, how we're doing it. It's been very much a really nice process of collaborating as well. And yeah, just sort of going with all of the permaculture ethics behind it, supporting every decision that we make, right from what materials we use to build it to what plants we're going to do, and then the ways in which we're going to use it.
Great inspiration for people of Bradford.
Brilliant.
Yeah, thank you, Pippa.